Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. Hope you're all having a fabulous day. We're going to have a little chat about Harry and also the royal family in general today. But firstly, I wanted to say a massive thank you to all of you who left comments on the last video. And thank you for sharing your stories, incredible stories. Some heartbreaking, some, well, all of them inspirational, all of them really it makes us feel like we're not alone, and I see a lot of you talking to each other and you don't feel as alone. I hope nobody feels alone. I know some of you are literally physically alone and you're dealing with cancer, let's use the C word, and I just wanted to thank you all so much from the bottom of both our hearts for sharing everything. And I'll put a link to that video if anybody wants to watch it, so you can go and read the actual comments. So anyone else who's going through it, they won't not only not feel alone. There are common themes that, you know, there's taboo and people are scared, and it's not something to be as afraid of. Obviously it's serious, but it's awful if people are out there terrified. Anyway, moving on to Harry for now. I see he's going to be a busy boy soon. He's going to Singapore. Now, for the benefit of any sugars who are what I would call fanatical Meghan Markle fans, you know, really fanatical and actually quite vicious, and also for the benefit of genuine, lovely Meghan supporters, because I know we have them here too, and they are lovely and they are entitled to their free speech and opinion as well. I have not only seen it, I actually saw this in the Daily Mail second. I actually got it from Newsweek, Jack Royston first. Hello, Graham.
Hello, can I join you?
Yes, of course. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, yeah.
What's happening?
Well, I don't want to give you the details, but I've just been to the toilet, everything's
Oh,
fine.
no, it wasn't. I didn't mean that. I meant, you know, just how's life, man?
Oh, right, yeah. Went to the hospital today. I had chemo, started a third cycle, and except my hair's falling out. It's getting thinner and thinner, but I'm not bothered. You know, we just wanted to see what happens in chemotherapy.
It's lovely.
You know? Every time you get hold of it, you pull a bit more out. You know, but it's fine. We'll see. We'll just see how it goes on, so people can see what happens. I'll look like a coconut, won't I? In a week or two.
No.
When it goes too far, I'll shave it off. But I'm just seeing what happens. I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, I know you are, because you frequently have your head shaved at this time.
Twice a year normally Fiona shaves it, and I haven't been to a barber since the 1980s. I went through a phase of growing it really long, and
Oh, I remember that.
it was down my back, and I got over that phase and thought, now shave it off. So I've just had a pair of clippers ever since, haven't we? I've never been to a barber's.
And I think you can have a little bit of sun, a little bit.
Maybe.
It's just a case of being sensible, sunblock and all that. Anyway, right, so I've borrowed your phone, Graham,
Okay.
to read a little bit out of Harry's hectic schedule, his upcoming schedule, so I guess he's feeling better, he's feeling much better. All right, let me get to the... It's written by Jack Royston, who's a little bit of a, well, quite a lot of a cheerleader for the Sussex camp. But he has written the odd critical article about them as well, and in this, I'll put a link in the description to this one. He does sort of bring up some uncomfortable things that they probably would prefer him not talking about, like effing grifters and being dumped by Spotify and stuff like that. Right, his itinerary. He's going to Singapore first. I'm just trying to find the right, I should look for the right paragraph. Right, it's Meghan's birthday on the 4th of August, as I think everybody knows. He's going to go to Singapore, he's going to do some stuff there, I'm not quite sure. Then he's going to go to Asia with his charity Centre Bali later in the month, which supports children and young people with HIV and AIDS in South Africa. Initially he will head to a summit on the power of sport, community and philanthropy at the ISPS Sports Venue Summit Special Edition in Tokyo. Well, they always have really long names, don't they, these things? Japan, 9th of August.
Makes you sound more important.
This is all, and it says this is according to a press release, so this is not, you know, this is horse's mouth stuff. He will then play the 2023 Centre Bali ISPS Handa Polo Cup that's what he's doing in Singapore Polo Club on the 12th of August to raise money for charity. Harry said in a press statement that he was delighted to return to the club. And he goes on and on and on, and I won't, but you know, you can read that all for yourself. And then after that, he's not finished there. He's going to be his Invictus Games tournament. The event will be in Germany from the 9th to the 16th of September, spanning Harry's birthday on the 15th of September. So he's a busy lad. Now, Jack also makes the point in the article, although it's a press release, so, you know, I mean, this is to be fair to the Sussex team. We talk enough about, you know, what we're thinking, but this is a press release. There's no mention of Meghan in it. And Jack Royston does actually raise the point at the end. He says, we don't know if Meghan is going to accompany Harry on any of these, or if she will stay at home like she did for the King's coronation. So, what do you guys think? Will she go, or will she stay?
I think she's been banished.
You don't think he's obviously he's doing a little mini tour, isn't he?
I don't care what he does. Honestly, I don't. He doesn't realise that he's the most hated royal in the world.
Oh, I don't hate
I tell
him.
you what,
I don't hate
Queen
him.
Camilla has breathed a huge sigh of relief now that all the attention's on Meghan and Harry. She's like, she's taking the heat off me. Good on her, you know.
Well, they all take their turns, don't they?
They seem to, don't they?
They all take their turns. Every single one of them. It's like a baptism of fire. It's just that Harry and Meghan, the really weird thing with them is they had so much goodwill and everybody was on their side, and they themselves have turned the entire world, well, it feels like, must feel like it to them, against them through being selfish and critical and mean and saying mean things.
Yeah,
you know,
the only reason his book sold all those copies was because people wanted to read it so they could pick holes in it and slag him off. And so that's the only reason they watch the Netflix documentary. Not because they're into Harry and Meghan, they just want to criticise them. And quite right, look at all the channels that are out dedicated to just slagging Meghan and Harry off.
Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Huru.
He is not here.
No,
I don't think
no,
so.
No, I'm sorry.
But to me, that looks like he's off on his own. All that. Polo matches and stuff. I mean, I know she actually crashed one, and when they presented them with a trophy, and I don't think they'd even won the match. They didn't even win. Someone
pick
brought
up the award anyway.
No, I think someone brought a big cup along as a prop, and they staged a thing. Sue Smith showed it in the middle of a field, and she crashed, photobombed, and she was in the middle, and all the men leant over her and kind of hid her face. It was bizarre, really bizarre.
Award. It must be for me.
Yeah, that to me, that article, because I'm talking from a PR point of view, that to me sounds like Harry is branching out on his own. He's going back to charities he's into, because I haven't really seen him do much with Sentibali. He's been so busy collecting awards with Meghan and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff. And he likes polo. He's got his mate Nacho, hasn't he? And to me, that's what it looks like. So
what happened to Skippy?
Oh, in Skip. I think he lives in America now, and I think that they are in touch.
Yeah.
I seem to recall someone saying yes, they are in touch.
Oh, fancy dress parties on the menu then?
No. Do you think Meghan will go with him on this little mini tour or not?
No.
Why
I don't
not?
even think they're together. Who knows?
I don't
Who
think they're
knows?
together.
You know, they tell so many lies, you just don't know what to believe.
I don't think they're together. And I think if she was going, there'd be little announcements or big announcements in that whole press release thing, don't you? They'd be like, and Meghan will be wearing Givenchy, and then Givenchy would be like, no, why us? Again? Carolina Herrera will be going, losers.
I reckon he should get all his old mates from Eton and from wherever and go on a right bender in the UK, and they'll finish up smashing the restaurants and probably debagging Jeremy Vine. Jeremy will be outraged.
Oh, don't sour my day. I think the reason I don't like Jeremy Vine is, oddly enough, he is very, very, very like one of our personal narcissistic psychopaths. They don't look like him, but this particular person, they're just like, you know, and they pick away at someone until you lose your temper, and then they go, I'm a victim, officer, he attacked me.
I've seen a few of his victims where he's riding his bicycle with a 360 camera. And when the street's really narrow, he deliberately goes dead slow. And you can see if he knows someone's in a hurry behind him because they're flashing the red lights, he'll go even double slow. Like that. Really, really slow. Loving every minute of it. And then as soon as the road gets wider, this car will go beep and zoom past him. And of course, he's there having a go at them at the traffic lights.
Yes, I believe he's had quite a few people arrested.
And then he's going, don't assault me, giving it all this, you're on camera, you know.
Anyway, this is not about Jeremy Vine. Don't want to talk about
But
him.
he might be alright. I mean, I don't know him. I've only know his TV persona.
Yeah, he might be alright
He
laugh
might
in
be
real
a
life.
life and soul of the party. You never know, do you? He could be a right laugh.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Anyway. Back to Windsor. So
Windsor.
they're split up, aren't they? If she doesn't turn up on this tour, that's my opinion, that's what I think. They're not together. I don't think they're together anyway, but
I reckon they just lie and meet up sometime for a photo snap, and they ring the paparazzi and they're all there a bit of, well, let's have a car.
I still feel there's some sort of announcement. Oh, I bet she's busting a gut. I bet she can't wait.
How come we haven't picked up any Emmys and awards and things? She's always jetting off, getting awards, isn't she?
Graham, she wasn't even nominated for the Emmys. Sore point. Let's not talk about that.
What did she do anyway to it? What do you have to do to win an Emmy?
Oh, Emmys are a genuine thing, and she wasn't even nominated.
Well, why would she?
You've got to be
doesn't do
entertaining.
anything.
You have to be entertaining, talented,
Got to have talent
that sort of thing.
and be in things and do things. You know, don't people like win awards for they put on a really good show somewhere in the West End or I don't know.
I think it's
Broadway.
American. No, it's
Oh,
American.
that was really good. She was brilliant. Yeah, we'll give her an Emmy. Is it one of them or is that an Oscar? I don't know.
Emmys, I think, are American.
That'll be
West End
Broadway.
is London.
She hasn't been in anything, so she's been.
Well, she was in
Netflix documentary. Or she's getting an Emmy for that.
No, she didn't even get nominated, mate. Are you surprised? Because Graham struggled to sit through the whole 6 hours. I confess, so did I. But I was a little more invested on behalf of you guys. But Graham 3 times said, "Oh my God, how much longer is this going on? Can we please turn it off?"
At least with YouTube, you can watch someone on fast forward, can't you?
That's probably what made you ill in the first place. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for listening, and look forward to hearing your thoughts and theories and opinions, and most importantly, your free speech to say what you think. And I do encourage people like the lovely Lakiva, I think that's how it's pronounced, who absolutely adores Meghan, and I don't believe I've ever heard her say anything nasty to any of us before. She just says things like, I love Meghan and Harry, and I think that's very, very sweet. And I do encourage people, if you want to show love to Meghan and Harry, as well as people like me, old bats who don't. Thank you for listening.